Okay, everybody, welcome back. We're going to go over the getting started phase of learning Python. I'm just going to go over the basic installation process, but then something that's not in the book, but I just want to go over because I feel like it's a more elegant solution to getting your programming environment set up, is the installation process using Scoop in Windows. Now that I think about it, I just want to show something off here real quick. So yeah, Windows has currently like something along the lines of 76% of the market share. So it's a pretty fair bet that if you are watching this, you are doing it from a Windows desktop. And since that's the case, I will be showing you the Windows installation. Yep, cool. So that's going to be what we're going to do here. You're going to open up your web browser of choice, and you're going to go to python.org. That should take you here, and you should be able to go to downloads. Just download the most recent release. In this case, it happens to be the Python 3.9.1. The only thing you need to make sure that you do is you can install the launcher or not for all users. You can just do it for yourself. But make sure you always click Add Python 3.9 to Path before you go on, and then hit Install Now. And then I'm going to say no because I've already installed it. Anyway, so suffice it to say, that's a pretty straightforward process, and if you add that to the path, you should be good to go there. Okay, that's the one part. So now there's another way of doing this, and I think this is a much more elegant way of getting Python on your computer and also installing a lot of other software that you're going to be using as part of this book. So let's go over that real quick. This is a different one, so go back to your browser. You're going to go to scoop.sh. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you could do this. This is just what I do. If you know a different way of doing this, feel free to do whatever you feel, whatever floats your boat. I don't care. But this is just something that I feel like you should know exists. So, one thing you need to make sure you do is copy this. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to hold down your Windows key and press X, and then you're going to let go, and then you're going to press I. This will open up your PowerShell. Okay, so what you're going to do is the following. You're going to highlight this, hit Control-C, and you're going to go into here, and you're going to hit you're going to right click, and that will paste it in there like that. And you set that, and then you're going to say all, and you're going to press A and press enter, and that should set everything up that you need. And then you're going to go over here and get this guy right here. And then you're going to right click into here, and I'm not going to press enter here, but you would press enter and it would install Scoop for you. Now, Scoop is just a software installer that just automatically goes out to the internet and installs that stuff for you. So now, once you have Scoop installed, you're going to go Windows X I to open this up, and you're going to say Scoop install git. Now press enter, and you'll notice that well, I already have it installed, but that's how you do it. You say Scoop install whatever you want to install. So in this case, we're going to go Scoop install Python. Press enter, and it should just run through the whole thing, and then it'll come up with a message that says such and such was installed successfully. And that should look something like this. You'll notice that instead of which, it will say Python, but Python whatever was installed successfully. So once you see that, you should be good to go. But make sure you install Git first, because Git is kind of how Scoop does its whole thing. And these softwares you may or may not ever use on the computer, but they're useful to have, so just have them around. And they're not very big programs to begin with. I mean, this one is 40 kilobytes. That's really not that big. Anyway, okay, so that's how you get your Python installed. So then once you have that, you should be able to just type in Python, press enter. Oh, and Python's there. Look at that. Cool. In my case, it's 3.7.9. Don't worry about the version number and stuff, but you'll see down here, you'll see this 3 greater than signs. That's your prompt, and you can actually do math in there and stuff. And you can say put stuff in quotes and say cheese, and it'll print out cheese. That's not really interesting right now. We'll get to all that stuff, but just know that exists. And now you can type exit, open and close parenthesis, and you're back into your original PowerShell. Now, we're going to go over all this in a great deal of detail, so don't worry too much about it right now. Just understand that Python is installed. It looks like it's working well, and that's all we really care about at the moment. So that is the way we install using Scoop in Windows. Now, just so you know, the basic installation process, the one I outlined before, that will work on pretty much anything else you need to work on if you're working on Linux or Mac or whatever else, you should be able to do that with Python. Python works on pretty much any computer. If the computer will run it all, Python will probably work on it. At least I've never run into a situation where it hasn't. Of course, I'm going to be putting my email address out there, so if you have any questions about this, you can, of course, let me know. Now, the last thing is to install your text editor. Now, I have all these suggestions about text editors you can install, and we can go talk about them. So let's just pull these up. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of that. So one I really like, and one that's great for beginners, is Notepad++. And you can just download and install that if you like. Or you can install VS Code. This is Microsoft's offering. And you can download and install that. Again, these are all free to download and install, so nice thing to have. I will be using VS Code, or actually its open source equivalent, VS Codium. Which is basically they just took, VS Code and just did it that way. So you can download it here. You can also install some other ones. I'll just throw some other ones up here, like Sublime. Yep, Sublime Text is something that people use. Thing is, Sublime is paid for, so I don't really use it that much. You can also use one that isn't really designed for this, but it will work, is Brackets. Another one you can do is Atom, which is a very popular text editor. Atom's a great text editor for design for this. Again, another free offering, and one you can also download and install. Okay, so these are all offered for free, basically. Now, the really cool part, or the part that I like to show people, is the fact that, okay, let's go back to here. If you want to install, for example, VS Codium, you say scoop install VS Codium. Oh, look. Cool. And look, VS Codium is already installed. So I'm already good to go. But that is the beauty of using Scoop, because I don't have to go look for it. I just have to know it exists and say, Scoop, install this thing, and boom, it's done. Now, if you ever want to search for things that you need, you can try the Scoop, search VS Code. And you'll notice that we have a list of things we can install from Python or from Scoop. Scoop, search VS Code. We have VS Code right here, and you'll notice as we install things, they will show up on your recently added stuff. So these are all the different ways you can install text editors. You can use Scoop, or you can install them directly from the website. The idea is, don't get hung up on which text editor to use. If you have one that you've already been using or that you've used before, go ahead and use that. It does not matter. The only thing that you care about is that the text editor has syntax highlighting, meaning it can colorize the you see how it's colorizing the stuff right here to make sure it's easy to read, and that it can also have line numbers, as you see here. It has line numbers. All these have line numbers and colorizing the text, or what's called syntax highlighting. And so since that's available in all these are all great options for a text editor. So once you have all this stuff installed, we can move on and actually start using our computer, and that will be the next lesson. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, and also comment if you have any questions or if anything you think I need to cover better. Appreciate it.